Today we're going to be taking a look at set number 75412, Death Trooper Night Trooper Battle Pack based on the Ahsoka show. I feel like there were quite a lot of people after the Ahsoka show finale of season 1 that wanted a battle pack or trooper type set with the Death Troopers and Night Troopers so you could army build them, and LEGO finally delivered such a set. We still have no Captain Enoch, we will discuss it later on in this video, but yeah, here are at least the troopers for the army, so let's take a look. Set number 75412, Death Trooper Night Trooper Battle Pack, released on June 1st of 2025 with 119 pieces, 4 minifigures, and for a recommended retail price of $22.99 and €19.99. Taking a look on the box art, we have this very cool illustration on the front with the minifigure lineup. On the top side we have a 101 of the Death Trooper minifigure, and on the back side we have once again a really cool illustration of the set and the minifigures. On the left side you have this little box where it shows you a play feature of the model itself. When opening this set you get a total of 2 bags which are unnumbered, and in my case these were paper bags, and you get the instruction manual, which is just your typical LEGO instruction manual with a pretty straightforward building process. At the end of the instruction manual you'll find the whole LEGO Star Wars Toon Wave, which I will fully cover on this channel, so in case you don't want to miss this, I would highly appreciate a like and subscribe by you to support the channel. And if you see this later on, just check out the channel and they will be in the review playlist. Now let's move on to the minifigures of the set, which is probably the reason why most of you are gonna buy the set and also the reason why I bought the set. We got 2 Death Troopers, both of which should be the same. I think it's both just the exact identical minifigure. On the front the Death Troopers have some really cool printing on the torso and the legs, also some printing on the hips and the feet. I really love these golden cracked details and these red bandages that are everywhere. And also the golden cracks on the helmet are really nice, really awesome printing. On the backside there are a couple more of these golden cracks, and once again these red bandages wrapped around the figure itself. This looks really awesome, I really like the printing here. Underneath the helmet you get the same zombified head for these troopers, which I really like the printing and the details. And I also think here the without pupil or white pupil look for these heads works really well. I don't really like it on Maul or other figures, but on these zombies I think it's a great decision here. The rest of the 4 minifigures are these 2 Night Troopers, both of which have the same legs but different torsos and also different helmets. The most noticeable difference between both of these figures is of course the helmet, one of which has a grey and the other one has a white helmet. The printing on the helmet looks really nice, once again these golden cracks everywhere. Then there are on the torso some of these bandages which wrap around once again, and also some golden cracks. And then the legs, which are the same on both figures, with these bandages on the right leg, or on his left leg, depends on which perspective you want to look at, and the golden cracks. And there's also a small golden crack on the hip, which is not that much, but still a nice detail. On the backside of the figure there are some more golden cracks, but no more detail on the grey helmet. Underneath the helmet there's once again this zombified head, which the other troopers have as well, so nothing special, but still once again a really nice print. Then there's also the White Night Trooper, which also has some golden cracks on the helmet, which, what is really cool, not the same golden cracks, so it's not in the same spot as the grey one, so they could have just used the same print here, but no, they changed the golden cracks, which I really appreciate. Then there's also once again some bandages on the torso. This time the 2 bandages are more separated to make it look different, and 1 golden crack. And as I said, the legs is just the same printing, and the golden crack on the hip is of course also the same printing. Also this trooper has the zombified head underneath the helmet, which is the same, so all 4 minifigures have the same head. Overall I have to say I really like the minifigure selection for this battle pack. I think the printing on all 4 figures is excellent. I really like the selection of 2 Death Troopers and 2 Night Troopers, which is awesome. That the Night Troopers are so different is also really nice, and just the detail on these figures is amazing. I also really like that once again they chose to use normal blasters and not the stud shooters, which is now the norm, but I still appreciate it, as the years where we got these stud shooters was really not the best time. And overall a really great minifigure selection and a great way to build your Death Trooper Night Trooper army. Now moving on from the figures to the actual build of this battle pack, you get this downsized or battle pack scaled version of the Imperial police gunship, I suppose. It's also very similar to the other Imperial dropship type vehicles in other battle packs that we've already got over the years, so I don't fully know what the in-universe vehicle is supposed to be, but I'm also not the biggest fan of this vehicle here. I think it doesn't look very good. Like, of course, the battle packs are more focused on the figures, and I don't display battle pack builds anyway, but I don't think this thing looks really good. You have this big windscreen piece on the front, which is in a really cool color, like this washed gray black type color, but it's mostly open from the sides, so it looks really weird. On the sides you have space to put some figures. The troopers can be transported with this vehicle, but only in a stand-up position and not in a seated position. You can see those tan plates in between there, which doesn't look really nice. And overall, this model looks really unfinished, I feel like. We get these thrusters on the back, which do their job, but it doesn't look really nice as well. As far as play features go on this model, you can of course put a figure in to pilot the whole ship. To do this, you have to remove the windshield piece, put the figure in, and then put the windshield piece back on. I think this is kind of lazy. There's no mechanism or anything. It's really only held on by these two studs on the top, which, yeah, it's just lazy in my opinion. You can also rotate these four top pieces of the model. I don't know if they are supposed to be kind of wings or other engine thrusters. I don't know what they really are. Maybe it's just design things. They are on ball joints, so you can rotate them pretty much any way you want and adjust them to the way you want to display this model. Then you can of course also fire the stud shooters. On my version this didn't really work at first, but this could be my issue because the stud wasn't really in there. Yeah, these stud shooters usually work pretty well, so they fire pretty much as you press them. It's a solid play feature, nothing majorly exciting, but it's solid. Then you can of course put the troopers on the side spots for them. There's one open spot left because one of the troopers has to pilot the ship, which is okay, I guess. If you get more figures, you can put them there, but yeah, it's not that cool looking. It's a battle pack build. It's not that special, but I feel like it's still a pretty lazy build. It doesn't look that cool. I'm not the biggest fan of this. And there are also these C-clips where you can store some weapons. Mostly you're gonna use this probably for the pilot, so he can pilot the ship and not has to hold his blaster. This is a nice addition, I think, but yeah, once again, it's not the greatest build in my opinion. So even though I criticize the build a lot because I'm just not the biggest fan of it, but once again, I'm not the biggest fan of battle pack builds in general, so this could be also personally biased. It's just my opinion, of course. I really like the battle pack overall. I think the figures are really cool for the relatively small price you have to pay for the set. I still think, 20 euros and now 23 bucks overall almost for a battle pack are quite much, but the figures themselves are really nice, as well as the printing on them is awesome. I really like the golden cracks and the red bandages and everything. There are some really cool minifigures, and I think it's a really nice way to build your army. One thing I still don't get is why LEGO didn't include a Captain Enoch with the duel on Peridia. There's still no commander for this whole army, and I don't know if this one Night Trooper on the duel on Peridia was really necessary. I don't know if we will ever get a Captain Enoch. As of right now, I don't think there will be many more sets on Season 1 of Ahsoka. Maybe for Season 2, I don't know, but it's still a little sad that there's no Captain Enoch. But now let me know down in the comments below what you think about this battle pack. Will you build your Night Trooper and Death Trooper army, or are you not the biggest fan of these troopers and will probably skip on the set? I think once again this is a neat little set. The build is not that great, the figures are awesome. And if you're new on this channel, leave a like and subscribe to support the channel. And until then, have a great day. After 10 years, LEGO finally released another version of this minifigure. And with that, welcome to today's review of set number 75400, Koon's Jedi Starfighter Microfighter. This set released just now on June 1st of 2025 for $14.99 or €14.99, and it comes with 89 pieces and one minifigure. Taking a look at the box art first, on the front we have Koon in his Jedi Starfighter flying over some type of building or facility. This looks like a background from the Clone Wars, but I'm not really sure where this is. If you know where this exactly is, let me know down in the comments below. On the top of the box we have a picture of Koon himself in 1:1 scale. And on the back side of the box we have Koon when he landed with his Starfighter and he has his lightsaber out. And we also see one of the features that the set has where you can store his lightsaber. When opening the set, you get a total of 2 numbered bags. In my case, these were paper bags. You get 2 separate 2x8 plates in dark gray. I don't know why they weren't included in the bags. And you also get the instruction manual, of course. At the end of the instruction manual, there is some advertisement for the whole LEGO Star Wars June wave. I will fully cover this on the channel, so if you don't want to miss this, leave a like and subscribe. And now let's take a look at the star of the show, Koon himself. This is now the overall third version of Plo Koon we get from LEGO, the first one being released in 2008 and the second and last one we've got until this one from 2014, and I can say this is a significant improvement. This is undoubtedly the best LEGO version of Plo Koon, and it's a phenomenal minifigure. Now, first of all, you get this new headpiece for Plo Koon, which is now dual molded, which is an amazing choice because the previous headpiece that Plo Koon had was this rubbery material where the gray parts were only paint. So over some time when you used the figure, this paint would rub off and would just not look good. But here they decided to make a dual molded piece, which is the right decision. And also overall, the detail on this headpiece is amazing. The sculpting that they did all around is really great and it looks really like Plo Koon. It's a really great headpiece. Now, as far as torso and legs go, I also like the printing that they did here. He of course has this brown Jedi robe style with the belt continuing over the hips and the legs. Also some minor printing on the feet. There are of course also a couple of details in the back, once again with the belt wrapping around, and it looks great. The only thing I did kind of hope for was that they maybe would include the Clone Wars type arms. So Mace Windu in this Republic fighter tank had these arm prints for the clone armor that they wear in the Clone Wars. And Plo Koon was the same or similar clone armor. This would have been some really great arm printing here. And if you would want Plo Koon as a movie version, which he, according to the box art, isn't, you could still just swap the arms out, but this arm printing would have just been over the top. Now, taking a look at the actual Microfighter of the set, it looks surprisingly good. I still don't get why LEGO chose a Microfighter over a Starfighter that they could have easily sold at $40 or so, but this Microfighter looks really great, and I'm not the biggest fan of these Microfighters. I think the shapes and the overall design looks really great. The color scheme is awesome, and I really appreciate that they now chose the darker blue instead of the normal LEGO blue that they chose on the Clone Wars or older version of the Starfighter. You also get Plo Koon's astromech, but only the headpiece. I don't really get why they didn't include the legs and the torso. I don't think this is really that expensive, especially for the price of $15 for 89 pieces. This could have easily been included. It's a little bit disappointing, but yeah, overall the Starfighter looks really great. You can of course put Plo Koon in a Starfighter so you can pilot it. For this you need to take off his lightsaber, which you can clip on the underside of the ship, which doesn't look that great, but it's fine. And then you can put him in very easily. And once again, I'm not the biggest fan of Microfighters, but it does look pretty nice. And you can then swoosh him around or put him on display or whatever you choose. Then you of course can also fire the two stud shooters, which is a fine play feature for a Microfighter, but in my opinion it looks way better if you just remove these two pieces from the ship. It looks so clean and sleek design wise, and just it looks great when you remove this. It looks like a perfect Microfighter in my opinion. And yeah, now I can only think about what we could have gotten if they chose to do this at a $30 or $40 price point. I think this would have been a great Starfighter. And especially to pair that with the Arc 170 they released prior this year. This would have been awesome for Revenge of the Sith, and this would be so great on display. But yeah, they chose to do a Microfighter, which I don't really understand. Now when it comes to the price, I don't think the set should have cost $15. If they would have included the whole astromech droid with legs and torso, maybe, but there is no reason why this should cost more than the previous Captain Rex Microfighter for $13, if I remember correctly. Compared to the battle pack, it seems fine, but I don't think the Microfighter should cost $15. I think it's a little overpriced. However, I still think a lot of people are gonna buy this set for $15 because of the Plo Koon minifigure, which is the exact reason why I bought this set. I don't think it's worth it, but this is probably the reason why they price it at this point. But now this is the end of this review. If you enjoyed it, I would highly appreciate a like and subscribe to support the channel. Feel free to subscribe if you're new and don't want to miss anything. Check out the newest 2025 LEGO Star Wars set reviews on the end screen, and until then, have a great day. Welcome to today's review of the probably least exciting LEGO Star Wars June set, being set number 75411 Darth Maul Mech. This set retails for $17.99 and 14.99 euros and includes 143 pieces and one minifigure. On the front and also on the back of the box there is some really nice box art of the Mech itself, and in the background there is some artwork of the Mandalore Palace or the throne room where Ahsoka and Maul are dueling in season 7 of the Clone Wars. On the side there is some more box art of the Mech itself, and then on the other side there is a picture of a 101 minifigure of Darth Maul. When opening up the set, you get a total of 3 numbered bags. In my case, these were paper bags, and you get 2 additional lightsaber pieces which are not included in the bags, and also the instruction manual. Now taking a closer look at the one minifigure that is included in the set, this is of course Darth Maul, as it's his Mech. This Darth Maul is the Clone Wars version, which we already got in the Duel of Mandalore back in 2021, I think. The only slight difference that this figure has is the head print, because LEGO is now changing towards some different printing for Sith or alien characters who have no pupils, or at least not the black dots in the eyes. It took me quite some time to get used to these faces, and on some figures I appreciate them more and on some less, but I'm still not sure if I prefer this look here or the look on some older figures with the black dots still in the eyes. Pairing him up with his brother Savage is still a very cool look on the shelf, but it's been quite some time and the Savage figure looks a bit outdated, so I hope LEGO will give us a new one sometime soon. Otherwise, it's a phenomenal minifigure. I really like the printing on the torso and the legs. There's some printing on the hip and also on the feet, and I really appreciate the printing on the torso. The red is just very vibrant and just pops. It looks really great. Now moving on to the build of the set, the Mech itself, this is surprisingly cooler than I thought. The legs have a significant amount of detail, and I think they work quite well for Maul, as his robotic legs are part of the Clone Wars show, so I feel like a Mech is fine for him. But I really don't know where the Dark 10 pieces come from. I think they really take away from the look of the Mech and just destroy a little bit the optic of it. As expected, you can easily sit Maul inside and then fold up the little chest piece, which also has a really cool printed piece of Maul's, sort of tattoos that he has on the chest. I really appreciate that they used a print here instead of stickers, as I will always root for prints instead of stickers. On the back there's a clip where you can store Maul's lightsaber. This is a convenient way of storing it, but not the best looking one, as you can see it from the front. On the back there's also a little build of the probe droid that Maul uses in episode 1 to track the Jedi. This is not the best looking version of this probe droid, but I still think it's a cool inclusion. You can also move the fingers up and down on both sides of the hands, and you can also remove the lightsaber if you choose so, but I don't really know why you would display this Mech without the lightsaber, as it's Darth Maul, but yeah, it's an option I guess. You can pretty much rotate the arms however you want, as they're on ball joints, so you can pretty freely put them in any pose you'd like. And the same goes for the legs and the feet. They're also both on ball joints, and you can even put Maul's Mech in a splits pose, which is pretty nice for posing I guess. And overall the movement and the posability of this set is pretty nice, as you'd hope for in a Mech. This is kind of the LEGO Star Wars equivalent of an action figure, or is kind of also in the way of the buildable figures back then. So if you're a fan of that, I think you're really gonna enjoy this set. So overall I think the Darth Maul Mech set is a really solid set, especially for kids to play with. Me personally, I wouldn't really display this set, as I would rather display something from the actual movies or TV shows. But I think if you like this kind of interpretation of a Darth Maul Mech, or just to play with some LEGO Star Wars sets, I think this is a great set. Price wise, I think the set is a little overpriced, as almost 18 bucks is a little much for the amount of pieces in the set. But ultimately this is a funny little set with a really nice minifigure, so yeah, if you like the mechs, you're probably gonna enjoy this one too. Now thanks for watching, please consider subscribing if you're new and enjoy this content. Leave a like and subscribe to support the channel, and until then, have a great day.